Good afternoon. This is Jane Fires, Fun Stamper's Journey Independent Coach 151. This is the card that we're going to make today. It's an easy card and it doesn't take a whole lot of time, but it's just a little different than what we normally would do. So today this is the card that we're going to show you. Now some of the product that we used in making this card, I used our new Platinum 6 die cutting machine. This little machine folds up, as you can see. You unfold its platforms. It's only 7 pounds in weight, so even with it open, it's light. All right, I carried it down some stairs today, and I only used one finger, so it's not heavy at all. What comes with the Platinum 6 is the rubber mat, your embossing plate, 2 cutting plates, and the platform. Now the nice thing about the platform with the Platinum 6 is that there are no magnets in this. And this is good for people that have pacemakers. So this particular one has no magnets in it. If you also have our Journey Amaze machine, it has magnets in it. And they are the very same size so that you can use them interchangeably. So this is the machine, however, today that I have used to die cut everything. And I do have everything already die cut. So I'm simply going to close up and put this little machine aside for right now. Now the other products that we're using today, we are using the stamp set, Most Wonderful. And it's in the Journey Holiday catalog, which is brand new. The pine background is in our big catalog. Our Holiday Joy, and we're going to use the round one that says Happy Holidays. This is also in the Holiday Mini. Our branch and cone die set, and I've used this a lot. I really like this die set. And it is also in our Journey Holiday. Our bloom cluster die, it's in our big catalog, and it's one of my very favorites because you can cut your different stems apart so that you have more than just 3 or just 1 stem. The other thing that I used was the Journey Circles, which has been in our catalog, and this is the one that has the piercing. I also used the new Journey Circle one, which has the stitch lines. Today we're also going to use one of our stencils, the polka dot wall stencil. The cardstock that we're using today is Cranberry Bliss. Fresh Forest is what I used when I die cut the tree branches. Oatmeal Cookie is the one I used for the top of our pine cones. Hazelnut Blend is the one that I have used for the back of the pine cone. And Kiwi Slice is the one that we are using for our base card. So that's basically the product that we're going to use today, besides our Panpastels. Now our Panpastels, along with all of our stencils, all of our acrylic paint, is all on sale the month of August. So these are at a very good price. You can save a good bit by getting a set of these. Now, what comes with them are our sponges, and this is the set that comes with them. The big sponge, the medium sponge, and then you get 5 of the littler pointed sponges and the handle. This all comes as a set. You can also, of course, buy just this part, which are our sponges, separate if you want extra ones. So this is the things that are on sale this month. All right, first thing that we're going to do, and I want to show you this because this is how I keep my Panpastels. I don't keep them in the pouches because when I travel, it's too hard to take those with me. They all screw together. So what I do when I get a set, for example, Rich Sorbet, I put the number on the top so that I have it for the set, and then on all of them I marked Rich Sorbet and then what color they are, so that I know exactly which ones I want to use and where they're located in my stack. So for example, today we're going to use Kiwi Slice. And so as you can see, I have it marked Kiwi Slice, and I also have its name Rich Sorbet, so I know it will go back into the correct container. The other color that we're using today comes out of the Party Pop, and it's one of the newer colors, and it's the Limeade. All right, so those are the 2 greens that we're going to use today. This is, of course, the Holiday Mini, where I took a lot of our things from for this particular card. And this catalog runs through the end of December. So this is the catalog you'd want to look at. All of the rich sorbet, or the Panpastels, and the stencils, as well as the acrylic paints and things, are in what's called Prep to Play this month. So you can go to my website at www.funstampersjourney.com/angelhugs, and you'll find this there so that you know exactly what's there and what you would like. So when you order from my website, as I've done with everybody else that's ordered from there, I will send you a free gift. So let's get started doing our card. Okay, so for this card, what I'm going to do is use the background of our pine cones. I'm taking my clear pigment ink and I am inking up the entire background. I want to get this good and wet because I'm going to use it for my Panpastels. So I need to make sure that I have it nice and wet. And you can tell if it's wet or not because it'll be a little bit shiny. Then what I do is I take my cardstock and I lay it on my background stamp. Then I take a piece of scrap paper, lay it on top, and I rub across my cardstock. And I press fairly firmly with my entire hand so that I know that I'm picking up the ink onto my cardstock. Now, when I turn my cardstock over, you're not going to see the ink because it's a clear pigment. So you might see a little shiny, but I'm not sure. So now what I'm going to do is take my lightest color, which is my limeade, and I'm taking my medium-sized sponge and picking up some of that. Now you'll begin to see a lot of my ink. As I rub across it now, you can see the design. So there is the limeade on my card. Now what I like to do also, when I've got my first layer on, is I just sort of run over it a little bit with a paper towel. Doesn't take much off, but it just gives me enough off of there because now I'm laying down my polka dot stencil. And now I'm going to take my other color, which is my darker color, which is kiwi, and I'm taking the edge of one of my big sponges and I'm simply going to go back over where I have a circle. And what it's going to do is just put a little bit darker green over top of what I've already put on my card, which was the limeade. It's just another way to do a little bit different design with your Panpastels, and yet it looks very, very attractive. Now when I'm done with this, I do take my stencil and wipe it off very well so that I get everything off of it completely. I've used this stencil several times already and it's just as good as new. So lifting up my stencil now, you can see the difference now where my circles are because they are darker, okay, than the rest of my card. Now the other thing that I'm going to do on this card, because I want just a little bit of shine on it, is I'm going to take the gold Panpastel, which is our brushed gold. It is the Journey one. It's in our catalog. I'm taking another sponge, and this sponge I keep just for gold on one side and my silver on the other. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit of my gold, and I'm just going to run it across my card. And that just gives it a nice little shimmer of gold, and I think you can see that. So there's my base card. So now I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to take my inside piece, which will be on the inside. My words for on the inside are going to be wishing you peace, love, and joy. And I'm going to stamp that in black. Now, I don't normally do colors for my words. I normally use the black because then you can always see it. Now, on this card that we're doing today, I am going to use a color on the front because I want the green to be picked up. So now for inside of my card, I'm going to put wishing you peace, love, joy. And so there's that. Now I want to do some design on the inside. So I'm taking some of the other stamps from the other set that I showed you earlier, and on it I'm going to use candy apple and kiwi. So one of the things I like about this particular stamp set with our branches is that you have a branch that goes both directions. So you can make them look like they're kissing. So there's that branch. And this is its little partner. Now I always stamp, when I stamp on corners and things, I always stamp part of it off, but you wouldn't have to if you didn't want to. And now in between those, I want to put a little bit of red for the berries. So I'm using the candy apple red, and I'm going to go right in between my branches. So there's the inside now of my card. It is now complete. But I think I'd like to give it just a little bit more sparkle. So again, I'm taking my gold pan pastel and I'm going to just rub across it where my words are and where my design is, so that I have just a little bit of sparkle there. So the next thing is my base card. And with my base card, I took our scoreboard, which is brand new in our big catalog. I laid it down because I have cut it at 11 by 4 1/4, and I'm going to at 5 1/2 score it, and then I will fold it. Now, just my own thing, when I go to fold my card, I line the corner up with my scoreboard and I bend the top over, and then I score it well with my score tool, so I know that it's right where I want it. Stick back my score tool back into my scoreboard, and it's ready to be put away. So now I'm going to take my journey tape and put it on the back of my inside piece. And of course, one of the things, as I've told you before, I like is that our tape is tearable. In other words, you can rip it. And then simply go over it with my tool, peel off the backing, center it in my card, make sure I have it straight. That's the hardest part for me. And put it in. So my inside is finished. Now I'm going to go to the outside. I'm going to pick back up my base that I started working with. And this now I'm going to put flat down on the front of my card. So again, I'm using our white liner tape, my bloom tool. And center this on my card. Okay, so now to get my decorations going on my card. The first thing I need to do is to stamp my words in my circle that I've already punched out. And so my words simply say Happy Holidays, and they have the little leaves and things on them. So I'm going to stamp this in green in my kiwi slice. Now on my circle, I have die cut this with our Journey circles with the piercinged one, and then I also took the stitched one and did the stitched one inside. Now I want this a little more colorful than what I have it right now, so what I'm going to do is take a little bit of my limeade, I don't need very much, of my pan pastel, and I'm just going to go over the edges a little bit here. Now you don't have to do this, but I thought it would just add a little something, so I'm just simply taking it very carefully over my edges. And now I think you can see that the little bit of green that I've put on there. So set that one aside. Now, this is going to go onto my card about right up here. I want it popped up, so again, I'm going to use our Journey foam squares, the medium size. And again, I'm going to cut these in half because I only want halves at one part or the other. And when I do the Journey circles like this, I usually do 3 and then put 1 in the middle. Peel off my backing. Now the other thing that I do is wherever I'm going to put this particular thing, for example, I'm going to put it right up here. I'm just going to rub over my pan pastels a little bit because I want to make sure that this is going to stick right where I want it. And there it is. All right, now I need to do the bottom part. Now I've already die cut everything that we needed and have cut it out, but I wanted to show you something. These here are, of course, our pine cones, and they are very, very intricate, okay? So when I do them, I die cut them, they usually come out like this. So what I do is I take my Journey bloom tool and I go over it this way, and as you can see, I get everything out. And usually that's enough to raise it up. Then I check my die, and if I have anything left in it, I take it out. So simply what you do on anything that's intricate and it's got a lot of little pieces to it, take the brush on your bloom tool and get them off. Now you'll notice that on this one, which is littler, there's a few of them that didn't come out. So just take your pick and poke them out and they will come right out. And there you are. Now these two could be put down on hazelnut. That's what I did here so that the pine cones will show up better. So that's all that I do, and that's how I do it using my bloom tool. Okay, now the first thing I want to put down are my branches. And again, our branch die is made, as you can see, so that you have a right and a left. So I'm going to put these down using a glue dot, because my pine cones will be standing up. So I'm going to put this branch right there, and this branch overlapping him a little bit right there. Now I did use our mirrored gold and the cranberry bliss, so now I need to put my little berries down. And so I'm going to put that one about right there. And my red one there. Now my little pine cones, both of them, I want them standing up. So again, I'm using the foam squares that I cut up. This little foam square here I cut in fourths so that I'd have a small one for right there. So peel their backings off. Put that one there. And that one there. And then I'm going to take our candy apple twine and I'm going to make a bow. And my bow now is going to be more than just one. I'm going to do, I don't know, 3 or 4. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember now I take my end here that's at the bottom finger, go between my 2 fingers, go under my loop, and pull. Take it off my fingers, and there's my bow. And then you can pull your little bow parts apart. And then turn it over to the back side, and I'll put a glue dot where my knot is. And put it right where my 2 little pine cones come together. And then I can trim off my ends. So there it is. Christmas card, easy to make. Most of it is die cuts, along with our pan pastels, which are fun to use. So if you have any questions, you can get a hold of me at Serif, S like in Sam, ERIF 1 at AOL.com. Hope you have a blessed and joyous day.